what do we know about the long-term impact of security and insecurity for kids' longer social and emotional development? We conducted, again, Marianne Marinas, myself, and Ashley Grove and Glenn Roisman, done a series of meta-analyses. That's what happens when you become friends with these guys. You have a wonderful time meta-analysing things. It's been incredibly useful, I think, for the field. So we looked at children's externalising problems, very relevant to the Happy Start trial. We also looked at internalising problems and children's social competence. And again, we hoovered up every bit of research we could find. In a nutshell, here's what we found. First of all, this is a slide that tells you whether or not there's a correlation at all looking forwards in time. And if the bar is absent, then that means there's no correlation. If it's long, that means there's quite a strong correlation. And that's what we found. You can see that there's clearly an association. It's pretty reliable between insecure attachment, that's the top bar, and children's externalising problems. The correlation is not huge, or the association is not huge. It's again, for the aficionados, this is sort of an effect size of 0.3, which is not huge. But it's clearly not trivial either. What also stands out that's rather striking is that if you compare the insecure subtypes, it's the disorganised children who are most vulnerable to having behavioural problems. And the association with avoidance and resistance is really quite small and may not be reliable. If you turn to internalising problems, you see another interesting pattern. That's the pattern for internalising problems. First of all, if you can see the scale there, what you can see immediately is they're much smaller. So the association between attachment, security and insecurity in a straightforward way seems to be smaller than it is for externalising problems. And in fact, if I put the two together alongside each other, you can just see how much bigger the externalising effects are compared to the internalising. It's almost double the size. The other thing that's quite apparent is that the disorganised children here do not show any reliable increased prevalence of internalising problems, and if anything, it's the avoidant children who seem to be more vulnerable to behavioural problems. To internalising problems like anxiety and depression. I should add that this is all in childhood, so things could be different in adolescence. And then finally, if you look at social competence, how well they get on with their peers, then actually we see the effect sizes go up again. And this is the highest of the three effect sizes that we saw, approaching 0.4, which again is not enormous, but it's not small either. And what was also interesting in this case is that all of the insecure patterns of attachment seem to be more or less similarly associated with social competence. And our thinking about that is that social competence and the quality, how children deal with social interactions may be the kind of proximal thing that then, in complicated ways starts to translate into difficulties with externalising problems and for some difficulties with internalising problems. And it may be telling us something crucial about what makes an insecure attachment more vulnerable to having difficulty late in life. It may be via difficulties they experience in social relationships.